Hello, so another episode. Just want to say if you like it, or like it, subscribe, do that good stuff. Just need some more subscribers, so if you do even watch it and you like a little bit of it, just consider subscribing. So this boiler, he's got it in summer mode only, so hot water mode only. But every time he does that, the heating's always just consistently coming on. So the boiler's always trying to fire, and it's pushing it down the heating circuit. So there we've basically got the timer disconnected. At this point now, you disconnect your external controls, or the link where the link is. Obviously the control's going to disconnect that, and then you're just basically trying to see at the point when it stops really trying to fire up ultimately. So as you can see, it's still trying to fire up. So now I'm kind of thinking, is it the micro switch on the front that's maybe knackered, or it's like seized in the closed position, as in it's making the circuit. So I kind of tell when I was pressed on it, then it wasn't really giving me that nice click. Might have had a little bit from the screwdriver, that's where the screwdriver was rattling, but ultimately I know it needs a new micro switch. I didn't get the part number, but it's the 3-wire micro switch. It's not too bad. When you swap it out, you've got to do the pump cable as well, because the pump cable comes attached to it. That's it going on to the selector switch. Obviously, just take a little picture of this type of stuff, because it is so easy to just not know exactly where everything goes. And I ain't fucking got a clue where everything goes. You know, if I pull it all out within about 10 minutes, I'm thinking, oh, a minute, where's everything go? So just take a little picture, reference yourself, and you can't really go wrong. But I'd advise that to everybody, you know, if you don't really work on this boiler every single day, then I always take pictures. See, I was just trying to have a little look, just to make sure that I don't pull anything out of anywhere where I don't need to. I actually managed to get one of these quite local as well, which did actually surprise me, because I thought it'd be quite a bit of like a rare one. Yeah, just messing around there, trying to see what's what. See, you got disconnected from the pump. Should have probably just skipped through this bit actually, to be fair. But anyway, this pump didn't have a selector on it or nothing like that, so it's quite simple really. It's the old pushing ones, which I actually quite like. That was one of my favourite. No, my favourite type was like the lock-in push ones. So the ones that are like the Wago connectors. They was the best. Fuck knows why Grundfos have got to change to this shit, and then change to the wiring one, then fucking change the wiring block. It just kills me. I mean, the ones where you kind of click them open, put the wires in, click it closed, that was absolutely beautiful. And for some reason, some dickhead at Grundfos always wants to try and change shit up every couple of years and mess it all up. Yeah, I was just looking at it here right now thinking, oh, which way does it go? It probably only goes one way anyway, to be fair. The majority of PCB connections will only go just the one way. Well, the ones that sit in the top anyway. The ones that kind of go on the side, sometimes you can put them on slightly out. So again, just take a picture. Because at this kind of point, if you've got a wire in the wrong place, you're going to ring up technical. They're not going to be able to help you out. They're just going to keep telling you to put something on so-and-so terminal, and you're going to keep thinking you've done it. You just better go around in circles. So that's the timer back in. Everything's looking good. I think we're going to give it a little fire. Oh, we've got the blue pump screw. Anyway, that's that bit done. Bosh. So here's the moment of truth. And there we go. So we're going to hot water mode only, and up it's come on. So you can see on the micro switch, I'm pressing it, but there's no real click. So I know it's just stuck on. Was you listening to that? Kind of hear it click, and obviously it tries to bring the boiler on straight away as well. This was just to swap out a couple of cartridges. I think they're ideal. What is it? It's ideal something. But anyway, they're quite distinctive taps, and there's a lot of them about. And usually people who have got loads of money, and they've got them in all their entire bloody house. So it's a good one to know. When you look at the bath tap cartridges, you're going to think they're probably 3/4, but they're bloody 1/2 inch, and they kind of sit into like a little bit of like a reducer type boss connection thing. But you know, with this kind of stuff, it is really, really good to know. And here's a little tip for you: if you ever get stuck with something, get the Google app and get the search for images, and you can just take a picture of some stuff and just search for the picture, and it'll point you in the right direction. So yeah, obviously changing these bath taps would have been shit. Yeah, I would have earned more money, but it was just I would much rather do this for an hour, do it in 15 minutes, get an hour's money and go, rather than spend 2 hours underneath their bath. So yeah, you are struggling to get the black bit off, so I thought, I don't want to break it because then I'm fucked. So if I take out the tap cartridge, get it in my hand, then I can kind of control what I'm doing trying to get it off. But yeah, I was trying to get it in bloody focus to see what cartridge it was. It's better to make out, I won't bloody focus. Well, if anybody wants to know, I've got it written down anyway from when I searched it all up at the start. So obviously I've done the hot one already. When I first set it in there, it didn't feel like it was going. There we go. Fucking hands are black as well. Fuck knows how. Oh no, yeah, I just did the toilet actually. I just did downstairs in their toilet, just replaced all the innards. And obviously I did a rusted ideal standard close coupling kit. So that's probably why mine was a bit dirty actually. So yeah, I was just trying to like prise it off a little bit. I think I did break one of the two of the prongs on both sides. I just couldn't help it really. But the majority of it stayed intact. Obviously once I screwed it down it all worked anyway perfectly fine. So I was just trying to get underneath like the little bit of the collar bit and try and prise it off. Bit awkward. I think I've got the bloody phone wedged on the back here as I try and do it. There we go, so obviously put this screw in. Now if you don't put this screw in, you'll get the handles could feel loose. So when you try and tighten it off too much, the handle will basically spin the black bit on the cartridge. So this screw is going to push out the black bit, which is then going to make the handle fit onto the black bit a lot more snug. Now if you don't put a screw in there and tighten the black bit, you put the handle on and it'll turn it on and off, but if you crank it a little bit too much either way, then it will probably just make the black bit slip off the cartridge and then you just be in deep crap. So just put the screw in. Also try and give it a little bit of a wipe up. This one, apparently the toilet makes a lot of noises, or there's a thing with the water that makes a lot of noises. So what I used to do with this tab, so you're always just going to suspect the inlet valve. So just try and give it a few little taps. Whether it's a ball cock, in a cold water storage tank or other tank, just try and give them a few little taps, because often you can kind of make them hit that kind of frequency. So I'll just basically dump the water out, just going to let it fill up and see what it does. So as you can see, it's slightly trickling in through the siphon, probably through the bottom connection actually, it's not actually overflowing yet. And I suspect the water going out is just allowing the valve to open ever so slightly, and that's obviously what's making it make the noise. Now, in any situation where you're getting strange noises, you know, the customer might say, oh, when I open up the kitchen tap, I get a loud strange noise. What you want to do is run around and see if any valve passes. So if you open the kitchen tap and you're getting noise, maybe go to the basin taps, and if the basin taps are just starting to drip out water, then you've got a dodgy basin tap. Now if you maybe open the basin taps and it's making noise, don't assume it's the basin tap. You might go to the kitchen tap and see that suddenly starts dripping, and then it'll be the kitchen tap. This was a funny one. I was changing the Stuart Turner pump, and I was draining down these two tanks. It had two tanks here, two 50 gallons, and it literally took 2 hours to drain it down. And then I realised some fucking dickhead had basically plugged up the vent. So I was probably quite lucky in a way that I wasn't actually draining down the cylinder, otherwise I would have probably bloody exploded it. This here was, I was doing a service on unvented, and I pulled the TPR to replenish the air gap, and it just sounded like water was going on the floor, and it actually was. That was in the 10th floor of a high-rise building, so I'm hoping they're all the same, and I'll run around 300 flats and fix them all, but you know, we never know. Now this is your Brett toilet. I was looking at it, I was thinking, what the fuck? can't lift it up, can't lift it right, can't lift it down. Anyway, what you do, you push one button in and then you pull out the other button. It's a little bit of a weird design. I don't know whether I fully like it. I feel like it's just got Broken City written all over it. So you kind of push one button in and then prise out the other one towards you. You push them both to the top, they feel like they're going to break, and then you basically snap it off the top. I don't think I'm a big fan of this design, just because you're literally having to put your full weight into trying to force plastic onto plastic. And you know, at the point when it breaks, you're just going to get the blame for it. But I can see it's obviously a lot more flush than a normal one where you might just push it up or push it left or push it right. But you know, yeah, it is more flush, but once you actually remove the box, it starts bringing away the finishing of the wall, whereas obviously on normal ones it doesn't. So yeah, I'm not really a big fan. But it's a good one to know, because I did look at it for about 10 minutes thinking, how the fuck do I get this thing off of here? You know, it's like when it's like trial and error, you're always trying to, you know, not basically break it. So I was getting a little bit of a tug there, thinking as it come off, then I realised you kind of snap it upwards. But yeah, what this one was, I'd just been next door and replaced the toilet seat in the other bathroom. This one, the complaint was when they got several customers in there, they got to wait like 5-10 minutes before you can reflush it. So I'm thinking straight away inlet valve. So with inlet valves, I'll generally have a little look at it. If it's pissing water out the top or out the sides or somewhere where it shouldn't be, I'd replace the inlet valve, because that's obviously a bit knackered washer or something like that. This one was just filling slowly, so when I took it off I could see there wasn't water coming out of anywhere it shouldn't have been doing. So we just basically cleaned out the inlet valve and put it back together, and it was good. This one's a Debrett, I think it's, I'm tempted to say a Debrett silo, but I could be wrong actually. But just a few minutes ahead, I actually show you what valve it is and all that lot anyway. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, it's a Sigma. I think the siphon's a Sigma. I think the actual valve is called something else. But yeah, to be honest with you, the actual insides of it didn't come apart too bad. The insides were nice, it's just that fucking case. That entire case bullshit killed me. Just trying to crack it there on my fingers. The majority of this shit you can usually just undo with your fingers. It just put the seals on an O-ring. So right, just trying to figure out how to get the inlet valve out. But you know what, fucking just going to get the hose out. Just want to backtrack a little bit as well. With that Stuart Turner pump, what do you guys think to the new hoses on them? They've not got the screwdriver slots anymore, they've got that big fucking round thing. And I suspect that big round thing will probably just piss out water. But I mean, we'll soon find out. But at least they're going away from the screwdriver slots. Them screwdriver slots was horrendous. I mean, the amount of them that I've seen absolutely butchered is mental. But I'm kind of hoping them new big round bloody button things that you just turn will be a lot better, but I guess we'll soon find out. So here we're just going to undo it. We're with one hand. And do it, have a little look in there, and I already know it's just going to be blocked with something, either this or that hose anyway. I looked down there, I thought I seen something, but it wasn't quite sure because I had like a little small little bit of tube in it. Then it was some kind of like pressure restrictor or something, I'm not quite sure, but it had like a little bit of tube inside it. But you can quite clearly see it's blocked anyway. So I'll try to blow it out. Wasn't going to happen. Obviously don't bash your customer's toilet seat like this. Just in case you mark it. Well, it depends where you are, doesn't it? You know, you've got to play the job by where you're at. So yeah, it was about this time the customer come in asking me if I'm alright, because I've spent an hour here changing one toilet seat and trying to fix this toilet. Which is always quite funny, really. Then I think I went back, fucking put the bloody hairdryer on thing. It always makes me laugh stuff like that when the customer's literally all over you, like trying to pressure you. And I think a lot of customers don't know when they've actually got a good guy in their house. You know, just kind of always think because you've been in there, you just be sat there taking the piss. Well, I know plenty of people that would have fucking ripped this entire wall down and changed that entire toilet system. So that kind of stuff is actually pissing me off, to be fair. And the other thing with these type of toilets, sometimes you put entire new parts in and still don't work properly. You know, because there was something with like the mechanism that isn't quite sitting right, or you know, there's always something. You know, you can never quite guarantee. That's why I just quite like old style toilets. We've got, you know, a siphon, an inlet valve, don't have any kind of buttons connecting to it or switches. There's nothing that can like influence it. It's just one or the other. These fuckers, you could have the button, you have these little sticks not sticking out enough, sticking out too much. You could have the actual plate itself not quite sat correctly, push button not locked in. There's a million bloody things with these. Also try and make sure them to a level. Because if one sticks out more than the other or the other one doesn't, then one of them must be wrong. Because they're both going to push at the same mechanism ultimately. So that's the under plate bit going back on. And I think I've just got the locking mechanism plate to go back on, and then the front cover. And the hose actually. So that was quite funny. I bloody fucking forgot to put the hose in, didn't I? And it gets even funnier. So I actually forgot to put the hose in. Then I bloody put the hose in the wrong way around. I mean, this was a 50-50 one, to be fair. I mean, when you look at that hose, one side's bent, one side's straight. You could either look at the right-hand side and go, it goes straight there and bends at the left, or you could look at the left-hand side and say it goes straight there and bends to the right. Now, it makes more sense when you actually put it in and realise the fucking hose blocks the entire bloody flushing mechanism. So right there, I should have looked at that and gone, on a minute, that's not right. It must do a 90-degree bend on the inlet. But for some reason, I persisted thinking it's just a shit design. But yeah, the hose is the wrong way around. You need the 90-degree bend on the inlet valve, which I've now just figured out. I'm about to figure out. But that's the thing with this stuff, they're all that much of a fucking shit design. Even when you do it wrong, you still just kind of get over it. But yeah, I think this part I've realised it's not going to work, and I was going to do it the wrong way around.